2024 felt like that year that broke me down to the very core in order to build me back up. And so upon my end of the year reflection, I've come to a lot of realizations about what happened last year. For most of my life, I've been a very optimistic person. I viewed things through a positive lens. I would see different situations as just plainly positive situations with maybe a few minor inconveniences thrown in there, but nothing just overly negative. I think I owe a lot of that perspective to my childhood, which I'm so grateful to say I grew up in a very healthy, happy household, and I could really depend on things just being fine, things just being good and positive. As I got older, of course, I encountered more negative experiences, which then shaped my worldview. Over time, it really stood out to me that life is not as easy as I thought it was. Some situations are incredibly hard, which I honestly had a very hard time accepting. I spent a lot of years trying to fight that sadness that came with the negative experiences, but of course, as I got older, these experiences just kept happening and happening and happening because that is life. I subconsciously tried to build this perfect life for myself, one that I could control and micromanage every little detail to make sure things would be okay, and also to keep myself from just getting too sad. And something I realized this year is that I actually began to imagine life as a meter, with happiness on one side and sadness on the other side. And I worked so hard to keep the needle pointed towards the happiness. I started to depend on that control so much that it almost became like an armor to me. I thought as long as I can keep everything under my control, it'll be okay, because I'm not going to give myself those negative experiences. I'm not going to be disappointed because I'm the one in control. It just made me feel very safe and very comfortable. But no matter how hard I tried, life would just throw in the sadness, the frustration, the disappointment, and the heartbreak. I felt like I was losing one piece of armor at a time, until eventually I felt like I had no armor and I was completely vulnerable. It made me very, very uneasy, the fact that I could not control that. And the more I realized how out of control I was, the more anxious I became. I thought to myself, if I can't depend on my control, which I already have been doing for so many years, then what am I left with? Which in turn gave me the most anxiety and the most hopelessness. It has literally consumed me. There were moments I could not do anything. Throughout all of this, going through my internal struggles, going through my anxiety, going through my depression, God was working in my life. It actually feels ironic when all of this is happening to me mentally. I am actually experiencing the greatest blessings I have ever had in my entire life. From getting married, to becoming a mother, to starting our lives together, being so connected with family and having so many joyful moments. I really did not understand why this was happening to me. Why am I receiving all of these beautiful things while simultaneously struggling more than I ever have? I just so desperately wanted peace. I didn't want to feel that anxiety anymore. I didn't want to feel afraid of the world anymore. In order for me to feel peace in this world, I had to give up my control and surrender it to God. Because everything I thought I had my hand in, God had a different story. God had a different plan. I had to let God be my armor. And once I let go of that control for myself, I realized that God actually does have his hand in everything, and he actually is working in everything, and that everything is going to be fine for me. I started to gain back that feeling of safety and trust and peace. And I also realized that in order for me to be consistent with trusting him and believing that he is in control, I had to read the Bible every day. I had to give time to him. I have to pray. I need to talk to him. I need to feel connected to him and nourish that. Something so profound for me that I did not realize at the moment was that it would actually release me of my severe anxiety. That meant changing my mentality, changing my actions and my reactions, becoming more patient and just letting things be. Releasing that anxiety cleared space in my brain to focus on other things. And so now that I have that space, I see things in a different lens. So now when I am faced with a challenge, I can embrace the challenge and view it as an opportunity to learn something new and to get stronger. Even if I fail, it is a lesson. I don't have to go about things trying to be perfect. I can go about things just wanting to make progress. And now I can also shift my perspective to think abundantly and not be small-minded when it comes to things. It's literally as simple as thinking, I'm not good enough versus I am capable of growth and success. I don't have to stay here forever. I am challenging my limiting beliefs. I can visualize success for myself. I can see myself getting to the places that I want to be, even with the challenges that come with that process. I can develop mental resilience, meaning that I can talk myself out of negative thinking patterns. Even if I'm in the midst of a negative situation, I can go through it thinking I'm not going to be here forever. This is teaching me something. Even though it hurts, I am okay. I can be kind to myself when things do not go as planned, because I'm still going to make plans, but I also understand now that they're not in my full control, because I trust that God will work things out. I can be present, and this is so huge for me as someone who has struggled with anxiety, because anxiety is all things of the future. It's all worry of things to come. Instead of just being present and looking at my beautiful scenery or feeling wind on my face, actually paying attention to the words that someone is speaking to me with. It doesn't matter what happened in the past. It's built me up to be who I am, and it doesn't matter what's going to happen in the future, because I'm going to be able to get through it. I can set goals for myself without feeling like I have to be micromanaging every single part of it. I can work towards something and still have peace. If it does not happen within the timing that I want it or in the way that I wanted it to happen, I can still feel that everything is under control, even if it's not my control, and that this, again, somehow is going to work together for my benefit, even if it's not a tangible benefit, even if it's a mental benefit. I can create new habits for myself, habits that are actually self-building instead of self-destructing, and I can push through the discomfort of some of those healthier habits that tend to be a little bit challenging. I can catch those negative thoughts as they're happening and reframe my mind in that moment to think positively. I can tell myself affirmations that will keep me encouraged and hopeful going through any moment. And another huge one for me is that I can actually focus on my strengths and not my weaknesses. I have always been one to be very self-aware, but I have always heavily focused on my weaknesses, and I haven't really given much attention to my strengths. And so with the anxiety lifted from me, I can focus on my strengths, because I'm not so worried about what my weaknesses will do to ruin a situation. I can meet new people. I can surround myself with new positive influences, and I don't have to be so freaked out about it. I used to be terrified of meeting new people, because what if they do this, and what if they do that, and what if it's not good? When in reality, how will I ever know if I don't try, if I don't give myself the opportunity? And again, now without severe anxiety, I can actually have a conversation with someone without thinking the absolute worst is going to come from it. And it can actually expose me to an opportunity to meet a really good, positive person that I would actually really need in my life. I can embrace flexibility and adaptability, because I don't have to worry about things being 100% according to plan. If there is something being thrown at me, I can dodge it. I don't have to let it knock me out. And I can stay committed to my long-term visions and goals, because even when things don't happen exactly the way I want them to 100% of the time, I can endure it, and I can trust that it will happen eventually. I think that success in anything comes with a really strong foundation of just trusting God. I used to be someone that was very avoidant of speaking about this, because I guess I really struggled mentally, thinking that I had to be in control of things. And I've just learned a lot this year, and I've learned that I just understood that this has been something so extremely helpful for me, and why would I not want to share this with somebody else? Just even thinking about those moments of really deep anxiety and hopelessness, feeling like I'm just getting attacked, it makes me want to cry still. And just with this belief system and foundation and mindset shift, I feel like this weight has been lifted from me. Of course, I would want to share that with anybody who is aiming for success. I am telling you these words with so much vulnerability right now and so much love. And if you are watching this because you really want to level up in your life and you really want to just grow and achieve, this is the foundation that is going to help you get there, especially if you struggle with anxiety and depression. So I had to lay down the groundwork for myself in order for me to feel like I can move forward with anything. And I feel like I have actually been putting myself in situations where I make clear plans and goals, where I take actionable steps, and I feel already that I have so much to look forward to, because I am already working towards so much. Even if I don't receive that success for who knows how long, I am excited about the future. I'm not freaked out about the future. and that has been life-changing for me. So I really hope that you found this video encouraging. I hope that it spoke to you at the correct time that you needed to hear it. Thank you so much for listening and for your time. I only ever want to help you. That's literally what I find so much purpose and joy in life. And so if you do feel like you gained something from this video, then I'm so glad. Again, I appreciate you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. I hope you have a wonderful week.